Dear Reverend Ed Trevors and congregation, it's 12:50 p.m. West Coast time, June 5th, 2024. The Weaver Agency of Roseman, California, otherwise known as the Diary of a Griever named John Weaver, which is me. When I do my channel, I deal with grieving, politics, and everything else going on in my life. When I do my channels, that's always there. That camera angle doesn't change all that much. You see the lady down below in the picture, my mother, 2013, my big brother, 2018. And their ashes sit on the top shelf. Reverend, and did you heal? You were. It seems like Pandora's box was being opened different which ways that there's no duct tape to put it back together again. Suicide, cancer. I ain't touching politics, not on this one here because I'd get too controversial about it. People having strokes, heart surgeries, questioning about the afterlife. I've had my fair share. I've known people who died of heart disease, of massive strokes, of alcoholism, cirrhosis of the liver, lung blowing out because of cancer. You get enough cancer treatment going through the lungs and makes it weak enough, and then boom. Suicide. Had an uncle with a shotgun. I had another lovely friend of mine who battled cancer, and I saw her through her better days earlier on and then through her worst days, her final days. I'd see my brother go through many heart attacks. I'd see my mother go through maybe once or twice, but other conditions before she died. My brother, as I said before, with the heart attacks and angina, he also had transischemic attacks in his head. Took him out at the age of 60. I know what it's like to be a caregiver. As a kid, taking care of an aunt, then a grandmother, later on. Years later, my mother, finally my brother, and now my dog is going through dementia. Ma had a touch of it, so yeah. Uh, yeah, not really fun. Not really fun, and it's been driving me nuts. I had my share of death. Age of 4 years old, open heart surgery. I came out of my mother's womb as what they would call in the military jargon, the medical 4F. I had crooked limbs and a leaking plumbing in my heart. Mitral valves. Died 3 times, came back to life 3 times. No fun, and it changes a person entirely down the road. It just takes its time before you become someone that you don't realize. And never made me closer to God, but I wish I had. But it just scared the living crap out of me. I get older, and I feel like I'm a failure to God anyway. Suicidal? Yeah, I'm feeling it too much these days. Only because I have so much regret and so many people have left me in my life, both doing geographics and also escorted. It's a wonder how a human being can actually deal with this much pain without trying to cancel himself or her out or just cancel the life out, period. I couldn't stay very long on the channel. I shut it down because I was getting it. I mean, I was getting tossed and turned on this one. It's a wonder how God can actually Send a lot of angels out there for assistance these days. Must be overwhelmed and flooded with a lot of his creations looking for him for guidance and help. And not to mention healing at this early stage of life. Not to mention healing for others. Some of them were trying to get a clarification of what heaven and hell was. State of mind. Not quite sure about the afterlife, but state of mind in this life, yeah. I'd seen how my brother go through innocence and go through changes that would force him into drinking and using because he couldn't stand the pain. And how certain actions have forever marred him and barred him from feeling part of a country, part of a service that he gave his life for, or constantly struggled in that one there. He got out. He was already marked and marred for life, physically and mentally. Certain decisions he made prevented him from having one particular life, but in another way helped him to become someone who was helping others out through their own hell, including me. I'd seen him go through hell on Hell Basket. And then him going through recovery, and then him trying to see me go through mine a bit. But I can tell you that grief has a way of changing viewpoints, lives, everything. Grief changes a person more ways than you can imagine. As someone in the congregation was pointing out, I know it's easier enough to say that you have to let it go, but hard enough to do the action. I hold on to the grief, I hold on to the pain because it is memories that I hold on to for dear life. The things I am not willing to get rid of. And in such wonderful memories are the pain because it is the love still needs to be expressed to them. That's barred in this life forever. But then to find how forever is compared to our own individual lifespans. Shorten or lengthen, however it may be. It's forever for us because it seems like forever in this mortal coil. In the spiritual realm, it's a different story altogether. I was a 4-year-old and didn't understand what was going on. And as I tried to go through it, I go through a lot of fear, a lot of pain, a lot of anger, a lot of confusion. There was no joy, but there was a lot of confusion on that one. How was a 4-year-old supposed to understand it? What was happening to him? First he was alive, now he's dead, now he's alive. I mean, back and forth. And somebody kept telling him, it's not your time. All I wanted to do was be free of the pain. Wanted to be free, but it wasn't my time. There were things not told to me that I had to do. And did I ever realize that I had my family praying for me like crazy, even writing a letter to the doctor, pleading with him to keep saving my life. My mother kept that letter. The doctor gave it back to her. I mean, Dave wrote the letter, sent it to the doctor gave it back to Mom. Mom hid it for decades until Dave and I found it right after Mama's death. And that really hurt us. That really tore us apart. I talk about things like this in my files. Sometimes they're labeled. Other times they're under WIN files. WIN files. Because I hadn't properly labeled them. There's a lot of them I hadn't gone through. But they're timed when the files were created. I'm saying this is because I'm going through this on a constant basis. Most mornings I can struggle, and if I get triggered, I'll go nuts. And other days it's going to be depression because I went nuts on the grief. Keep praying to God to forgive me. Forgive me for grieving. Forgive me for going through this. Forgive me for everything. And it seems like it's a constant plea for, I don't know. Some days I can actually get through it without getting triggered and get on with life. But there are days that the triggers will come up, either by anniversaries or by some other means. Maybe a reminder of something, a flash or something. And then it builds up. And then without me knowing about it, my eyes are welling up. I'm cabin to heaves. I'm crying my eyeballs out. And I can think a thought about looking at my dog. And there'll be a string of thoughts and feelings going through it that I would look at her and bawl my head off. Sometimes I'll be holding her and drowning her one, and it upsets her because I'm throwing my negative emotions on her. But I know she's getting older and she's going to pass away with the other dogs like they had. And being truly alone, that's another thing. And this is where the suicide comes in. It's what I'm afraid of. I don't want to give this thing power. I have to keep talking to God about this one. I have to keep talking about it, period, because I don't want to give it that satisfaction. I don't want to tell God that I came upstairs too early because I was in so much pain I couldn't deal with it anymore. I didn't want to take the drugs that the medical establishment has because I so a lab rat a long time ago and a pincushion. And I had a lot of animosity towards the medical establishment trying to keep my mortal corpse alive. But I'm still terrified of it where I get PTSD from the thing. They call it white lab cub syndrome. It ain't it. I know what they called it. I suffered through it all my life. Every time I kept going to the doctor's office or thinking about it, my blood pressure goes skyrocketing. It's a hell of a lot of fear to have. That's a hell of a lot of fear. But I've lost a hell of a lot of people. I've been trying to stuff the emotions inside until it broke. It broke. Damn near get killed on a job. A tire fell on my face. Thank you very much, supervisors. Disabled, broken mentally and physically, but I'm still getting around. Sometimes I don't know how to get through this. I don't know how to get through this at all. It's a hell of a lot of anger. It's a hell of a lot of pain. It's a hell of a lot of grief. And yes, I do see a therapist. I see a therapist for this. Therapist helps me try to get clarified to just listen. I send video letters to her. I send text messages to her. I noticed that when people used to be friends and family, used to hang around, but every time I keep showing more signs of grieving and depression at this point, they seem to fade away. Just by how many times I would signal to them one way or another. And I keep asking myself, is this the other way that people with suicide also do that too? Feel so damn depressed they try to communicate with others, but it's like talk to the hand. You're damaged goods. You're not happy. You're not drugged out. You're not doing stuff that might be pleasurable for other people to hang around you with. But when you start showing real human emotions, talk to the hand. I don't want that. You're in pain? Talk to the hand. Oh, that's my own experience. I haven't seen it happening with anybody else, but it's my own personal experience on the thing. I have no interpretations of it, of what's been happening. My own viewpoint. I said some things on my video that would try to make people understand that when you're looking at a particular topic, let's say this, you see it from one particular viewpoint, don't you? Your own eyesight, and you're looking at it, and you see what you're seeing and interpreting, right? Somebody else may be looking at it from a different point of view or a different angle. They may see the same thing, or it may be differently. Pink Floyd album cover, Dark Side of the Moon. You have a crystal pendulum, actually a crystal pyramid. You have light hitting it one side, and then you see the spectrum on the other side. That's our viewpoints. We're looking at things in life. The truth is right there, but everyone else is looking at it different viewpoints and telling you what they expect, what they're thinking, and everything else on it. So how are you supposed to look at suicide? How are you supposed to look at it? I know somebody made a suggestion concerning about, oh, it's a chemical imbalance in there. Well, everything's so chemical. Let's go get drugged out then. Let's go take Soma, a drug that was out of a book called Brave New World. I know it's a other type of Soma out there for different purposes, though. But in a book of Aldous Huxley, Brave New World, they used it on a constant basis. There was more to it in the book, though, but there are certain elements that actually do ring true. And the people want to take other drugs because they don't want to feel, they don't want to deal, don't want to cope. You stick it out in recovery holes too much. I've seen, I learned, and maybe more pissed off about it. People do the self-drug, or they do the medications, but they don't want to deal. I understand about physical pain driving you to a point where you still need it for mobility. I understand that point. But I'm talking about using drugs just to get a high out of it, or just be addicted to the damn stuff. Oh, this feels good. Let's have more of this stuff. There's only so much the brain can deal with. The pleasure center will get fried out like crazy, and then you're addicted. You're addicted to it. You need more and more and more, till the point where you're just saying hi to God, and your body's down there, but you're up there saying hi to God and wondering what the hell happened. Yeah, I think I feel sometimes. I have to come up with the idea. Oh, by the way, let me show you something. Come here, honey. Oh, come here, mama. This is the mama's. This is my baby. 20-year-old Chowiener. Had her most of her life. She's the one suffering through partial blindness and almost total deafness, I think. And she's old. Dementia. And she's still part of my family. And I gotta go feed her. I just wanted to let you know, guys, what was going on. Things I've been going through, guys. I'm relating to a lot of people online. I hear you. I pray for you all. I'll get you going, Mo. I'll get you going, baby. I helped take care of my grandmother with stroke. Wasn't easy being a teenager, as a young kid. Ma had all the heavy lifting, but I had to help her out too when she could. And the things I was talking about, my big brother, well, take time off in the Navy illegally. He had to go back to try to make it right with him, and got screwed for the rest of his life. Bad chicken dinner. No, yeah, it's a big chicken dinner. But even during those times when we're taking care of our grandmother, and she was a handful. Half her body died because the other half of the brain wasn't working. Left side dead, right Right hemisphere brain dead. Memory screwed up and jumbled. Driving Ma crazy. Seeing Ma in bed the last several years of her life, just getting to that point. She was more holed up and more uh, not going on in life because things were breaking her down left and right inside. She was losing people left and right she cared about, but she never released the emotions to anybody. Not that I know of and not that I heard of. So she kept it all inside. I think it was eating at her like a cancer. That's one of the reasons why I keep doing my channel, because I don't want it eating me up as a cancer. That's all I need. If I'm going to cry, I'm going to cry. Even if it has to be on tape, I'll do that too. But I got to talk it out. I got to express what's going on because I don't want this damn thing to kill me. It's bad enough I'm afraid of cars trying to run me over, or better yet, me in a car about to get into a car accident. Not fun. Been in a car accident as a passenger. Really not fun. Been through a heart operation at the age of 4 years old. Major. Said before in a job I had a tire fall on my face and damn near killed me. So yeah, not fun, not fun, not fun. And then we got neighbors outside. Lovely apartment complex with interesting people. But I talk about things like this on the channel anyway. So, with that being said, have fun perusing the channels. If you got questions, throw them at me. You're going to like them, like them. You're going to dislike them? Well, dislike them then. You're going to throw some comments, even positive, negative, or in between, throw them at me. I'm not here to satisfy the damn algorithms. I'm here to make a lifeboat. But if I happen to get more subscribers or more likes, maybe you'll satisfy the algorithms. Pain in the asses as they are. It didn't say that way in the terms and conditions when I signed up for YouTube or Google at this point over here, saying I had to please these guys. Biting the butts, all of them. Yeah, sorry, Reverend. Psalm 15. So much for the slander. Anyway, I'll talk at you later, pal. This one's public. The other one's coming up private.